GetLowered, thanks again for tuning in to yet another video. Infamous coming at you live from the West Coast yet again, San Jose, California. So I recorded this earlier on my bike, of course, on my Sportster. And this was just a response to this video. If you guys haven't seen this on TikTok, I uploaded a video. Ryan Cruzy just making a comment on why he doesn't work on Sportsters. Now, of course, he mentions it's a waste of money. And that's pretty much the thought amongst most Harley owners, Harley riders. For the most part, most of them, of course. I would say for the majority, I'd say 80%, 90% of people feel the same way. All right, I do get a comment every once in a while about they never thought they'd see a Sportster kind of like mine. I've heard that it looks like it's got 15K in it when it doesn't, of course, because you know I did everything myself, and for the most part, online comments, you know, people love to trash on the Sportster, and like I said, Ryan Cruzy himself, he just said, you know, there really isn't, you know, it's just sinking in so much money on a bike that's only worth $5,500, and like I mentioned, I agree with everything that he said. Everything that he said is absolutely correct, but honestly, you could pretty much say that with any bike or any vehicle, any vehicle at all. Vehicle, of course, devalues over time, and when you put money into any vehicle, a Corvette, if you guys understand, you know, Corvette, why I'm bringing that up, or my Lowrider S, all my other builds, of course, that I've sunk money into the bikes, you could pretty much say the same thing. It's just money wasted. You're not going to get that money out of it. Yes, you could probably sell a Dyna or sell a Lowrider S or sell a bagger for 15, 20K. But yeah, that's what I'm getting down to, that he is correct about the Sportsters. You could buy a Sportster for $6,000. I mean, they're out there for about, you know, $5,000, $6,000, depending on the year, of course. But that's pretty much it. All right. If you're trying to do this, what you see on my bike, if you're trying to do this and make money out of it, it's not going to happen. Like I mentioned, my Lowrider S, same thing. You know, I bought that back in 2020, sunk in quite a bit of money into it. I'm not going to get any of that back at the end of the day. If I do decide to sell it, nobody's going to give me what I put into that bike, because it's just not worth, you know, what it is. Now I see FXLRSs on the marketplace for $14,000-$15,000. Some of them built kind of like mine. I've made videos about it. Some of them with FXRT fairing with the Stage 2. We're talking thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, selling for about 15K, which is a pretty good deal for anybody who is looking into getting themselves a performance bagger or a lighter bagger, or something that's a little bit of both, where you could, you know, do long distance and, you know, city riding, because it's a lighter bike and you have luggage capacity. You're not going to get what you put into it. Like I said, for the most part, you know, as far as I believe most of the community, when we're doing this sort of stuff, because of course we can't leave these bikes alone. We buy them $20,000, $25,000, $30,000, depending on what you guys get. And you guys see the videos, the Stage 1, the Harley tax alone, you're looking at $3,000 to $4,000. And we just don't stop there. Of course, we do handlebars, we do exhaust, we do tuner, we do an intake, and then if you're doing a Stage 2, then you're doing, you know, the cam, the labor, the tune, $600, the tuner, another $700 with, you know, on just the tuner, the DynoJet tuner. We're talking thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. You're not gonna get any of that money back if you do decide to sell the bike. Like I said, it's pretty much the truth amongst anything when it comes to automotive or motorcycles. So I think for the most part, like most of us, you know, we like to customize things, we like to tinker with these things. That's pretty much the way I see it. It's just a hobby. And, you know, yes, all of this, we're talking about hours and hours of work. We're talking, of course, you know, money on parts. For the most part, my Sportster is mainly Amazon parts. So I did save thousands of dollars off of that. The only real thing name brand on my bike is the Stage 1, which is the SNS intake, the Bosani exhaust, and the PowerJet, the Power Vision. Sorry guys, the Power Vision, the DynoJet Power Vision on my bike. And that's pretty much the only thing that's really name brand, other than of course the turn signals and the LP6, which is really, I think that's the highest value item on my bike, and of course the seat. But Saddlemen provided me with the seat, so thanks again, Saddlemen. Thank you for giving me that fantastic seat. So, like I said, for the most part, it's a hobby. Most of us, we like to tinker with our toys. We like to customize them. We like to make them just unique and special, and just it's also, you know, like I said, it's a hobby. Like I said, it depends on the person. I like to take stuff apart. I like putting them together. That's why you guys see a ton of install videos. I like unboxing. I like the technology as far as, you know, motovlogging and stuff like that. That's not really, you know, related to this video, but that's just myself. You know, that's the kind of stuff I like doing. So as far as money, I know I'm losing my ass on this stuff. I know my Lowrider S, I know I'm not going to get anything out of that. That's why I don't plan on selling it, because the hours, the paint, the labor that I have in it, I'm not going to get money out of that thing. Same thing with the Sportster. This one I might let go someday if, you know, I decide maybe I do want to get something else. I don't know. It's going to come down to, I guess, you know, that. It's going to come down to the space and, you know, moving on to another project or moving on to a different build. I think that's what it's probably going to come down to. But as far as, you know, the money, I know it's gone. All right. And like I said, for the most part, anybody who has bought a Harley, who has bought a stock Harley, pretty much you're losing your butt on all of that. So let's go ahead and read some of the comments on the TikTok video. We have 215 comments. I'm going to look at some of the most liked comments. I'm not going to read through everything, because the video is going to be super long. So like I said, I'll have footage of the motovlog somewhere in the video. You guys can share your thoughts down below. I guess one more question, because I do get asked why a Sportster, and it was just budget. You know, that's what it was. It was just, you know, as far as money and the entry to get into building a dyno or a Sportster, the cost of the Sportster is, you know, a quarter or 1/3 of a dyno, or of a big V twin or a twin cam. You know, that's one of the major factors when it came down to this, because I really wanted to just, you know, build something. I wanted to change, you know, the paint job. I wanted to just have something where I could change it up a little bit and be a little bit more adventurous when it comes to build. Yes, it's a club style, but, you know, like I said, a lot of the parts are Amazon, and I just wanted to see how those parts, you know, compared to the name brand manufacturers like, you know, Trashing Supply. What's the other one? Man, I can't think the top of my head. Joker Machines. You have, man, there's just so many. What is the other one? The one on my bike currently, what is it? Kraus? Yeah, that's right, Kraus. You have Biltwell. So I just wanted to see what these parts had to offer, and I was quite honestly impressed by the quality and the build of a lot of the parts that I purchased off of Amazon. And, you know, seeing that, and then, of course, seeing some of the name brand manufacturers, what they offer as far as some of their products. Some of those products are also made in China. I'm not going to say which brands, but some of the brands on my Lowrider S that I paid top quality, I was honestly surprised when I received them and it said made in China. I thought they were made here in the States. So that was one of the reasons. One of the main reasons was just budget. I didn't want to sink, you know, $20,000 on a dyno, which is probably what I would have spent if it was kind of like what I did with the Sportster. You know, it was less than half of that with the Sportster. So it was budget. The other reason, of course, was the parts, the aftermarket. There's just so much support for the Sportster because they've been around for so long. You know, I knew it was going to save thousands of dollars off of the aftermarket. On the aftermarket, because you could buy anything on Amazon for these bikes. You could buy anything on eBay for these bikes, and that's where most of the parts, like I said, came from, Amazon and eBay. So I saved thousands and thousands of dollars off of just that. So it was the aftermarket, the huge aftermarket for these Sportsters. Like I said, they've been around for years and years and years. A lot of the parts from 2004 all the way up to 2020, they're all fit the same. You know, and then before that, it's 2003 all the way down to 89, I believe, or 85 or 82 or something like that. All those parts are exactly the same, so they all fit the same. So just the aftermarket, the budget, the price, all of that, of course, it was just a huge factor on why I decided on a Sportster. I wish I could have, you know, done what I did to my Sportster on a Dyna, but, you know, I do enjoy the Sportster. It's not my first Sportster, so that was, you know, probably my third reason for building out a Sportster, or building out, you know, the painting or building out the Sportster again, was because I missed my CV carbureted Sportster. I wanted to see what an EFI had to offer, a little bit more modern take of the Sportster, and I do like the way it handles and the way it performs compared to my Lowrider S. You guys know what I've done to my Lowrider S. I missed having that raw feel of a Harley-Davidson. So you guys know I have a full frame, frame mounted fairing on my Lowrider S. It's got the luggage capacity, so it's got an additional weight of, I would say, probably about 70 pounds on just the fairing, the light, the audio system, and the saddlebags. So we're adding, you know, 70 pounds plus onto that frame, onto that bike, of course, and it just doesn't handle the same. All right, on the Sportster, you guys can see it's more of an outlaw look. Just the fairing and the bike, pretty straightforward. It's under, you know, 600 pounds. It's got that sound of a Harley. It's got that feel of a Harley. It's got that shake of an Evo. So the way I saw it, it was just, like I said, I missed my CV carburetor Evo, and I figured, you know what, let's get that feeling of a Sportster again. I like to be able to have both, have my long range frame mounted fairing Harley, and then of course my sportier Harley-Davidson. So yes, it's got 5 gears. You guys have seen my other videos. Yes, there's some drawbacks to, of course, a 5-gear transmission. You know, it gets hot, highway speeds, and stuff like that. I'm not going to get into the details, but let's get back to the comments. Of course, let's just read a few. If you guys want to follow me on TikTok, you guys can see all of these comments. You guys could read through them. You guys can interact with these people. For some reason, TikTok keeps on having this filtering that I have to keep on approving comments. And, you know, if you talk smack on TikTok, I'll approve your comment. If it's towards me, I really don't care. You know, I really don't care what people say. Of course, I've heard the worst. It's a Sportster. You guys are going to see some of the comments, of course. They're hilarious. I find them amusing. And I also, you know, make videos where I tease, you know, Sportster riders. You guys can check out my videos on TikTok. I tease Sportster riders. I tease Indian riders. You know, everybody gets it, all right? All right, I own a Sportster, so I feel like I could talk smack to Sportster owners. So let's go ahead and look at the first comment with 90 likes. It's true, but it's not about resale. It's about building the bike you want. So that makes sense with me. It's a bike that I wanted to, and it's a bike that I had in my head. I like club style builds. I like tall risers. I like tall bars, you know, stuff like that. So I'm a huge fan of this overall look and the style. You guys have seen my Lowrider S. Like I said, both of them are money pits, and it's a hobby thing, and it's something that I like to tinker and customize and, you know, just do myself. So here we go. It's real cool, but always 1 2 3 4 5 5 5. on the highway. So of course you have a 5-gear transmission. You could get yourself a 6-speed for these Sportsters, but for the cost and the labor, you're pretty much better off just getting yourself a Softail. All right, like I said, you could get a 6-gear transmission, but I mean, we're talking thousands and thousands of dollars plus the labor. I believe the transmission is like $3,000 or something like that. 3,000 plus the labor. It really isn't worth it. I made a video about this, but I never published it, or I never edited the video. Because I've gotten asked about this. Sportster with a 6-speed or a Street Bob, I would always say go with the Street Bob. It's got the 6-speed transmission, and it looks pretty similar to the Sportster. It's got a smaller tank, and of course, the aftermarket support is huge. I've seen some Street Bobs for about $11,000, 2022. So if you're buying a Sportster for $6,000, $7,000, you're pretty much better off saving an additional $4,000 and getting yourself that Street Bob, because you get that 6-speed transmission, and you also have a 114 depending on the year of the Street Bob. Let's go ahead and look at the next one. They say that, but the Sportster 1200 for years had the best power to weight ratio of any bike they had. Okay, so they're saying that the Sportsters are a waste of money. But that's true. The Sportster was, because Harley has also mentioned it in their what is it called? In their promotional videos for the Sportster S. The Sportster for a long time was basically the competitor of performance metric bikes. And even Cruzy mentioned it in the video. For the longest, the Evil was the Sportster Evil was the performance bike for a lot of drag racers. So that is true. The 1200 was for years the best performance power to weight ratio of any bike they had, up until probably the Evil Twin Cam, pretty much. I would say, yeah, right? Am I right? Pretty much until 2002, 2001, probably earlier than that, but yeah, somewhere around that time. Sportsters are sick. No one will ever tell me otherwise. I love my crusty sporty. Yeah, I think somewhere in the UK they're very popular. I believe Canada is probably another country because they're really strict on the CCs. From what I've been told on some of my videos, some Canadians are pretty much limited by the CCs. Yes, you can have. That's the thing that people don't understand. The sport bike community. You can have a leader bike, but 1,000 cc's on a Harley or 1,800 cc's like on my Lowrider S, on my Harley, is of course nothing compared to 1,000 cc's on a sport bike. You would think these countries had that understanding, but because it's over 1,000 cc's, you pay like a super crazy premium to ride a Harley that's over 1,000 cc's, which is what most 1200 Sportsters are. So that's the reason why some of these countries prefer the 883 Sportsters, because of the insurance cost. It's crazy. So let's go ahead and move on down to you put money in any Harley. So this guy's saying pretty much anything with a bar and shield is a waste of money, which that's the community. All right, it's people, it's Indians versus Harleys versus sport bike riders. Everybody's in here. All right, everybody's talking smack. Most people talk smack about Harleys as well. I've had my 01 Sporty for 23 years. All right, so that's, yeah. If Rey Mysterio was a Sportster, of course, because it's got the flashy paint job and it's got the metal flake, so that's funny. If Rey Mysterio was a Sportster, I guess it'd be my bike because it's a smaller bike. Rey Mysterio, I believe, is 5'3", something like that. He's 5'3" or 5'4". He's short. Ryan, my boy, he's not wrong. That man also builds some of the dopest bikes and fabricates some of the most functional and durable stunt stuff too. All right, yeah. So like I said, I've been following Ryan since he had 6,000 subscribers. This was probably 2 years ago. I'm a big fan of the channel. I didn't take any offense to what he said. It's like I said, it's true, but you could pretty much say that with anything as far as automotive. I owned all sorts of Harleys from FLH to Super Guide, or is he talking about the Glide, the Super Glide to Road King to Ultra Classic to a Sportster. Only one I've never got rid of is the Sportster. All right, so yeah, I mean it's a fun little bike. I really, like I said, I really like the feel and the sound of these of the 1200s. I'm a huge fan of the way they feel and they handle. All right, they have the shake, they have the sound. So like I said, I've sold my CV, and I really wanted to get back into another Sportster after adding the frame and the saddlebags on my Lowrider S. Miss my Sporty, but can't see going back from the Softail ST. Yeah, the Softail ST is if I could, I'd get that too. I wish I could afford it, but my wife's already pretty upset. She's right here, so I gotta lower my voice when I talk about the price. That's one of the things with the Motovlog. I was able to talk about how much I spent on these bikes. I can't do that here. The Sportster Dyna, and some of you guys have made comments about my bike, the Dynaster. So that's pretty much what he's saying. Only true if you're 220 and 6'2". So this guy's just saying that the bike's too small. All right, you have 5 gears, highway riding. I'm 5'7", 180. So this guy has about 50 pounds on me. So I could see that, especially if it's an A7IV. I mean, you can still ride these things on the highway. It's not, it's not an issue. It becomes an issue when you're hitting 80, 90, and 100 miles per hour. That's when it starts being an issue, because it's a 5-speed. And if you're a heavier guy, bigger frame, then that's gonna also affect the handling of these bikes. Sportsters are the best Harleys, period. I remember my first mini bike. I got both Sporty and an Ultra on a classic Electro Glide. Sporty, way more fun. I mean, that's something that I've also mentioned in my videos and my motovlogs or my demo rides. I'm test riding these limiteds. They have the same drivetrain as my Lowrider S. My Lowrider S weighs in at 660 pounds before, of course, all the luggage and the fairing. 670 pounds. It's got a 114. You test ride these ultra limiteds and these limiteds and these baggers. That's the same powertrain on those baggers, but you're adding 300 pounds of weight. The Road Glide Limited, we're talking about 990 pounds. That's an additional 300 pounds on the same powertrain. So it's gonna drastically affect the handling of the bike, and of course the power to weight ratio on it too. Nobody puts money into any bike as an investment. We put money into them to make them what we like. So yeah, like I mentioned, it's a pastime. It's a hobby. It's not a waste of money depending on what you're truly doing. Facts, laugh emoji. Love my Sporty. Putting money in any HD is throwing it away. So this guy, he doesn't like Harleys. So putting money in any Harley-Davidson is throwing it away. Pretty much true. And it's like I said, but that's pretty much the same with anything. Imagine your girl texts you, left your Sportster keys. Imagine your girl texts you, left your Sportster keys. I'm not sure what that means. And buying a Harley in the first place is the biggest mistake. So yeah, there's a lot of Harley haters, Sportster haters. It's all fun and games. A lot of these comments were flagged as harmful, and I've approved them on my account. Can't love this enough. Laughing my butt off. If you build it without cutting any corners and have good taste, I argue they're worth more. Gorgeous bike. Thank you. Fastest Harley I've seen was a Sportster. I hate 2-in-1 exhaust, but besides that bike looks sharp. Thanks. It's a Harley, bro. They hate because they ain't us. Wait, I have a Road Glide now. Never mind. Yeah, so of course that comment, most people that start on a Sportster end up moving up. You for the most part, you start on a Sportster and then you find yourself getting into a bagger or getting into a big V twin or a full frame, depending on how old you are. I miss my Sportster. I need to save up $2,000 to get it back, but it's hard to save with VA disability. Thank you for your service. That's one clean sporty. Thank you. Sportsters are cool. Sporty, the original money hole since AMF. Okay. 1200cc Sportsters are fun to ride. Yes, they are. The spring has spoke. Oh, I mean the king. I'm not sure what that is. The king. The spring. I'm not sure what that means. Love my sporty CD riding. It's the best Harley. I get away with a lot more than if I was on a bagger. Yeah, it's it's just the way it handles, the weight, frame mounted fairing. Of course, you're putting a lot of that weight at or above the fuel tank, depending on your setup. So it is going to handle differently. Love the Sportsters, but I'm too damn big for one. Can't ride a bobber either. That thing is pretty cute. Thank you. Nah, it's a Sportster. Screams in Buell tuber. Bro hates flat track. Laugh aloud. I'm good with that. As opposed to what other Harley-Davidson? Here's another Harley hater. Crucy only miss. No, I don't think it's a miss. I think he's on point. He has to run a business. It's a business. He's an owner. He can't, of course, do project builds or passion builds, I guess you would say, and of course run the business. All right, if he's doing Sportsters, because he's gone in that in the comments. If he's doing Sportsters and he wants to make that into a business, then it's not sustainable. He has to look at, of course, the Softails and the Dynas, because that's where the money is. $10,000, $15,000, $20,000. You can sell those bikes or a Softail. You can sell those bikes for that much, or even his bagger. I believe. I'm not sure if he sold his performance bagger, but he could easily sell that for $30,000. Try getting $30,000 out of a Sportster, or like he said in the video, try getting $20,000 for a Sportster. All right, it really comes down to, of course, the group. It's a small group that's looking for this specific bike. Am I let's just look at myself. Am I willing to pay $10,000 for this? I don't know. I mean, if I saw this on the marketplace, $10,000, I'm looking at a Dyna. It's the truth. If they had this thing for $15,000, my bike, heck no, I'm not getting it. All right. If I have a budget of $15,000, I'm getting a street bob. Period. I'm not getting a Sportster. You guys can let me know in the comments. How much would you guys pay for my Sportster? How much would you guys pay? And just leave it in the comments. Are you guys willing to pay $20,000? If you say yes, I'm gonna send you a message. I can assure you, Crucy is not jealous, because on the video, you guys have to watch the video. That Sportster looks like a damn Softail. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So a lot of laugh emojis. Let's see. When you put money into literally any car or motorcycle, you ain't getting that money back when you sell it. That's exactly what I said. All right, let's just cut it here, guys. We're already at 30 minutes on the video. There's a bunch of comments, so if you guys just want to go in here and look at it, here I commented right here. Any woman would be proud of that bike. It's cute. That's funny. Dyna wannabe. Here's another one. Dyna wannabe. Of course, that's what they. I do get that quite a bit. I guess I missed the memo about putting money into any Harley wasn't pissing it away. 100% on point. Badass scooter there, bud. Miss my sporty. What does this guy said? I'd be pissed too if I paid $30,000 for 80 horsepower. Laugh aloud. Just kidding. I love my Stage 4 sporty. Is there anything else? There's a bunch of comments here, guys. So, anyways, sorry for the motovlog fail. Like I said, the video. The audio, I don't know what happened. It's just sometimes it's a hit or miss. I've been recording with the GoPro Mic Adaptor. When I record with the digital recorder, I rarely have issues, but this is one that it just happens out of the blue. It just happens. GoPro, they have glitches, and for the most part, they've been working just fine. It was just this last one. So I think, yeah, that's pretty much it. So waste of money, of course, 100%. You know, I'm not going to get this money out of it. But, you know, it'd be a fun little giveaway, or maybe a little raffle or something. I'm pretty sure that would do pretty good. This kind of built, you know, it's well built. You know, it's soldering, everything on it. You guys can see the paint job, of course. Everything's 100% quality. You know, I don't cut any corners. So anyways, thanks for tuning in. Please leave a like on the video. Please leave your comments. What do you guys think? Waste of money? Absolutely. 100%. Life's a risk. Get out there and ride. Later.